down. So we're just gonna take 4 more big breaths up. At the same time we're breathing, we're just kind of opening up those shoulder blades, getting those arms moving. We get 1 more here. And then I want you to go ahead and lift your palms up towards the sky. And you're gonna pull your shoulders back and down, pull yourself into neutral spine. So make sure that your ribs are not hanging out. You're gonna pull in nice and tight through your center. Your arms will be straight out to your side, and you're just gonna pull your thumbs back like they're gonna touch behind you. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, but not only together, making sure we're retracting them back and down. We're gonna get 10 more here. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Let the arms drop. Take a big step out with each foot, finding your nice wide sumo squat position. Hands can go on the hip or wherever's comfortable. We're gonna go ahead and let the knees track out to the side, and we're just gonna drop into that sumo. Taking our time, really focusing on pushing those knees out and back behind us to open up those hips. And really trying to challenge that range of motion. So take your time, go into it thinking of it more as a stretch at the bottom than an actual exercise to work the legs out. Got about 20 seconds here. Nice tall posture, glutes tucked underneath you. 15 seconds. Kind of reaching down for the bottom of the squat, seeing how low we can get. We're gonna go here, 3, 2, 1, and time. Go ahead and bring your feet back to about shoulder distance. We're gonna come into small arm circles. So again, let's turn the palms up to face the ceiling again, and then go ahead and start turning the shoulders. Really small, controlled circles. But at the same time, through those small circles, feeling those shoulder blades roll up, back, and together. So really trying to get them to move through their full range of motion, and also trying our best to really isolate this movement to our shoulders. Let's go ahead and switch directions. So now the thumb leads the way instead of the pinky. We're rolling them backwards and then forward. 20 seconds. All right. Last 10 here. We'll go here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Awesome. Go ahead. We're going to come into our waiter bow. 5 with a nice strong back, 5 with a rounded back, and then we'll go ahead and release to the floor. So we'll keep the hands around the small of the back, shoulders rolled back and down. Stick those hips back to stretch out the hamstrings again. This first half, really trying to make the movement come from the hinge of the hips, keeping that back so strong and long, not trying to round the shoulders, not trying to bend at the mid-back, really trying to force those hamstrings and those hips to give us that range of motion. 1 more with that long, strong back. And then you're gonna go ahead and let the shoulders start to dip. So we'll let the back round. This time we'll go ahead and aim for reaching for the toes, but give yourself that same cue of pushing those hips back and up. So it's not about just getting the toes, it's also extending that pelvis up, really lengthening the legs, grounding those heels. 2 more. On your last one, you're gonna hold at the bottom with me, and we're gonna go ahead and walk ourselves out to our plank position. Drop your knees to the ground, slide yourself over to your booty. We're gonna come into our first exercise. So your legs are gonna go nice and long into the mat. We're gonna start with the sit and reach, rolling down into the floor. So keeping the foot either flexed, or you can point the toes. I just wanna keep the legs activated by moving the feet. So either flexed or pointed. Flex will give you a little bit of more of a stretch. Pointing will give you a little bit more tension through the legs, actually flexing the leg muscles. We're gonna sit up nice and tall, rounding the shoulders back and down, and then the first thing we're gonna start to move is our low back And we're gonna start dipping our belly button down towards the ground. So we're trying to make our low back and our belly button the first thing that hits the floor. And then we're gonna roll our shoulders, the neck, and the head. Now we come up the opposite way. Again, just this nice, slow, controlled crunch. Doing our best to keep the legs as steady as we can. There will be a little shift forward and back, but what I want to avoid is using my legs to create momentum to come up and down out of this crunch. And instead, I really want to focus on my core. Today's going to be a lot of pelvic floor, a lot of core, not maybe in the traditional sense, but in the sense that it's really going to be supporting the movements we're doing today. We're going to be here for another 30 seconds, so if you need to hold the stretch a bit longer, feel free to. If you want to just focus on the flexion through the back and rolling up and down, you can do that as well. All right, 7 seconds. We'll go here, 2, 1, and time. We're gonna go ahead and find our back on the ground. Again, pull the pelvis into the ground by bringing the belly button and the ribs into the floor so we have nice neutral spine, shoulders relaxed back into the back. Pick your knees up to tabletop and then extend your legs long from here. We're gonna start above the hips, we can move down lower. Keeping the low back and the belly button glued into the ground, I just want you to lift yourself up into a flexed pose. And then we're gonna move those arms up and down, squeezing the core. Using that breath as we push down towards the ground, that exhale, and also using that exhale to squeeze our abs a little bit tighter. Now, you can take those legs a little bit longer, finding an angle that you can still support through the low back, and breathing into the core. If this is too hard, we can always take those legs bent, back into tabletop, and adjust our angles here. All we did was just extend to make this a little bit harder. Keep the shoulders up, keep the low back glued into the ground. We've got about 10 seconds here. All right, we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. You're gonna release the feet down to the ground. You're gonna shift your weight over to one side. I'm gonna cut my head off so you can see more of my legs. We're gonna start with a leg circle. So my bottom leg is just gonna bend to be my base. You can sit up or you can lay all the way flat on the ground. It doesn't really matter what your upper body's doing. We're gonna hold tension through this leg here by pointing our toe. So I'm gonna start flexing through my entire leg here. And then just like we did with those arms, I want you to take your big toe and start drawing these little tight circles. But again, moving the hip back, forward, around, and through these tight circles. And you will feel the glute really start to fire up. You should also be feeling the quad, the calf, full connection down the leg, but really getting this movement to stem from that hip and glute area. We're gonna go ahead and switch directions of the circle. So go ahead and start bringing it backwards this time. Again, keep pointing through the toe, keep the circles tight and controlled, but at the same time they're tight and controlled, really trying to work through that full range of motion through that hip. And breathe. We got 15 seconds. Last 10 here. All right, we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and time. You're gonna release the foot. Go ahead and relax the leg, shake it out if you need to. We're gonna come into a leg kick. So you're gonna point the toe up, flex the heel down. So I'll have that pointed toe up, and then when I come down, I'm gonna drive with my heel down, squeezing that leg down. We'll go here in 2, 1, and go. Again, straight lines. Bring the heel into flexion on the way down, point that foot to lift up. Flex, squeezing through the inner thigh, lifting up through the outside of the glute. You have 30 seconds. Again, putting tension into the leg and really trying to create our own tension through the movement. So it's easy just to let this leg flop around. Don't do that. Really control, squeezing down, squeezing up. These get heavy. You should be starting to feel the inner thigh and the outside of the glute, maybe even the quad, if you're really holding tension through that leg. 7 seconds. We're gonna go here, 3, 2, 1, and time. Again, if you need to take a second to shake out that leg, feel free to. Last one on this side, we're gonna start at the top. So we'll go all the way up, halfway down, then we'll go to the bottom, all the way down, halfway up, then we're gonna go full, all the way up, all the way down. We're gonna get you started here in 2, 1, and go. Let's keep the foot flexed the whole set. So I'm all the way to my full extension, halfway down. Shorter movement, lots of breath here. I'm already feeling the outside of my glute. So we're just gonna do our best to battle through the set. We're gonna switch to the bottom, so I go all the way down, halfway up. All the way down, halfway up. Just changing where that range of motion is going. Same exact movement, foot is flexed. Still breathing through it. All right, we're gonna switch to full range of motion. Here we go, all the way up, all the way down. 1 up, 1 down, 15 seconds. Breathe, I know we're feeling it, we're almost there. 10 seconds left. All right, we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Take a second to shake out that leg. We're gonna switch to our opposite hip, doing all 3 variations we just covered. Uh-oh. Okay, we will go here, give you a second to switch over. Again, back leg is bent. You can lay all the way down, or you can put yourself up onto your forearm. It doesn't matter, whatever's comfortable. We're gonna start with those circles. So I'm gonna go ahead and extend my leg, pointing through my foot, holding tension through the whole leg, and then taking my big toe to draw those little circles. Again, big range of motion through a small controlled space. So I don't just want to move it up and down, I do want it to go forward, back, around, and through. But again, trying to create as tight of a circle as I can, and thinking of my big toe as the part that's leading that circle. We got 20 seconds, just starting to feel that hip and glute warm up on this side. 15 seconds here. All right, we're gonna go here, 3, 2, 1, and time. We're gonna rest, we're gonna come into that leg kick. Again, it was pointing on the way up, flexing the heel on the way down. We'll go in about 10 seconds. So again, just letting that side rest. Keeping the core active, even though this isn't really the core, we're still balancing by stabilizing through the center. We're gonna go here in 2, 1, and go. So I'm gonna point my toe up, flex and drag my heel down towards the ground. Point up, holding tension, flex and peel down. So much of this is your intention and connection to the leg. Again, you want to create your own tension by actively flexing and moving that foot into that point and that flex, squeezing through the glute to drop it down, squeezing through the inner thigh. We have 20 seconds here. Almost there. Try to stay focused. Last 10. We're gonna go here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Again, if you need to take a second to shake out that leg, feel free to. We're gonna finish up at the top, bottom of the movement, full range of motion. We're gonna keep the foot flexed this time. We'll get you going here in 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So all the way up, halfway down. I know we are burning already. I just want you to breathe and do your best to stay with me. If you need to make it easier, we bend at the knee, we lift at the knee instead, just shortening that lever to make it a little lighter. Bring it down to the bottom for me. All the way down, halfway up. Check your foot. Are we still flexed? If we're not, pull those toes towards your face, the heel out and away from you. All right, we're gonna switch to that full range of motion in 2, 1, and go all the way up, all the way down. Breathe, we're almost there. All right, we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Shake it out. You're gonna hop up for me. We're gonna come into some standing steps, movements for a minute. We're gonna bring up the intensity just a bit. So what we're gonna start with is a vertical jump. So if you are not comfortable with jumping, that's fine. You're gonna push to your toes. The goal of this is to extend the body up towards the sky. So we're trying to extend vertically. Okay, so if you're gonna not jump, you're gonna reach for the ground, ball yourself into that tight squat ball, and then you're gonna shoot up towards the sky, pushing up to your toes, okay? If you're gonna jump, it's gonna look exactly the same, but you're gonna go ahead and launch. You're not gonna go for speed. We're gonna collect ourselves in a tight squat every time we set ourselves up to get that jump. All right, so we're gonna go here in 5 seconds. I'll start with the modified, I'll move into more of the advanced. Again, I'm just trying to create that explosive movement up. Here we go. So we're gonna squat down into that low squat, collect ourselves, start to squeeze, power through, find your balance. Again, it's not about tempo between them. We're really just trying to focus on that explosion upwards. Whether we're jumping or we're just pushing up to the toes. So I'm gonna catch myself light, bring myself back into the tight squat, jump up. It's all about creating that energy straight up towards the sky. 15 seconds. All right, last 10. We're gonna go here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time, shake out the legs. All right, we're gonna come into a single leg. You're gonna turn this into a little bit of a plyo if you want, or keep it on the ground. So we'll have one leg in front. Again, you're gonna sink into that single leg squat and push through, creating that power. If you want to jump, you're gonna jump like that. If it's too hard and you need to balance, the back foot goes down, you can still kind of push up to the toe, okay? So choose your version. You're only gonna be on one side. I'll start modified with you. So modified's here. Just like with the jump. We're really focusing on that way up. This is the next version, keeping the back foot elevated, pushing through the glute. And then, if we feel comfortable, actually jumping. Much harder than it looks, because you only have that one leg to stabilize, balance, and launch yourself up. We have 15 seconds. Almost there. Last 10. All right, we're gonna go here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Check out that leg. We're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. Again, I will transition from the modified to the immediate to the hardest version of it, okay? We got 10 seconds here. We're gonna get you going here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So for modified, my back foot is just lightly gripping into the ground. My front leg is still doing all the work. I can push to the toe to make it a little bit more plyo, but pushing through that standing leg. Or let's go ahead and start taking it down into that single leg squat. If we feel comfortable here, then we have that little bit of a hop. And again, it's not about how many we're getting, it's the quality of each rep. So finding our center, getting as deep into that single leg, creating that explosive power up. It's gonna be your last 1, 2, 1, and time. All right, we're gonna come into a twist jump. So you're gonna squat, push your toes, squat again, okay? We'll go here in 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So squat, push, squat, push. So I'm actually gonna turn my hips. If you don't feel comfortable with the jump, it just turns into a squat pivot, turning the hips this way, okay? Otherwise, finding that little rotation through your hips by using your core and staying light on those feet. We got 25 seconds. So this one we can play a little bit more with our transitional speed because we're not loading. It's not so much about that one explosive power. It's like a steady little cardio. 7 seconds. All right. We're gonna go here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Slowing down the breathing. Let's come into just a single leg lunge, alternating sides. We're almost done with the legs. We're gonna slow it down here just a bit. We'll go here in 2, 1, and go. So catch your breath, slow your breathing, coming into that lunge, trying to step up through the front leg. Again, almost simulating that single leg squat you just did. We're just getting a little bit more range of motion with that back leg there behind us. But really try to move through that front leg. Pretend like it's still that single leg squat. You're having to push all that weight up through that working leg. 7 seconds here. We're gonna go here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. I'm gonna center one foot in the middle of my mat. You're gonna be coming up and over, staying low, okay? So we're gonna get a nice little burnout on each side. We're gonna go here in 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So I want to stay low and just move this back leg side to side. Again, a little bit of movement to push. There's a little bit of hinge flexion in that hip. Not just the legs swinging side to side. We got 25 seconds. Starting to feel that leg warm up. Challenge you to get a little lower if you can. We have 15 seconds, we're almost there. Let's go. Last 10. All right, we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake out that leg. Center your foot into your mat on the opposite side. This is gonna be it for the legs. We'll come down into some upper body. We're gonna get you going here in 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, staying low through that leg that's centered, pushing that weight side to side. So it's like a squat to a curtsy to a squat again. Never releasing all the way up unless you absolutely have to, and then shake out that leg. Almost there. 15 seconds. Last 10. All right. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay. Shake out the legs. We're gonna go ahead. You're gonna bring yourself into prayer pose, but I want you to pull your elbows together. Elbows need to stay squeezed together to keep our pecs and our front delts engaged. We're gonna keep that tail posture. So pull your glutes underneath you, keep your core tight. We're gonna go here, 2, 1, and go. I'm just gonna pulse, pushing up and down, but also actively really pushing through my palms and my elbows. And then keeping my core strong. So keep those elbows and palms, keep that internal pressure. 25 seconds. We got this. Keep going, 15 seconds. Last 10. All right, we're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Go ahead and come down to the mat. A lot of these are gonna be planks, so there's always that option to take it down to your knees or up to the toes. I'll show you modified first, and then I'll come up into the full range. We're gonna start with that shoulder tap. So let's find that low plank, make sure your hips aren't high. You're gonna just balance, stabilize, tap. Balance, stabilize, tap. Again, the focus here is not how many taps you get, but how still can you be? If you can really lock in the core and avoid shifting side to side, it makes the movement that much harder. All right, 20 seconds. Keep squeezing. 15. Last 10. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. We're gonna go into a plank reach. So this time, again, starting down on the ground. If we need to, we're gonna make sure the low back doesn't arch, core is extended, or core is engaged. You're gonna lift to reach to straighten the arm out. And then again, just alternating. Keeping yourself still. And if you can, try to create that straight line so it goes fingertips to knees. Again, if you want to take this up a notch, bringing yourself up into that full plank. Again, strong center. Trying to limit the movement side to side as much as we can. 15 seconds. Last 10. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay. Low push-up hold. This one is a fun one. Again, this can be done from the knees or in a full plank. I'm gonna start down on the knees. Meet me down on the ground. We're gonna go ahead. Hands are directly underneath my shoulders. Shoulders are pulled back down together. Elbows are pushed back like they're gonna touch behind your back. Big exhale to hover above the ground. Full, not fully extended. Arms bent, shoulders back, elbows back. Core tight. Go ahead and release for a second. Bring it back up in 2, 1, and go. Pull the shoulders, pull those elbows. Squeeze, 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 grip into the ground. 15 seconds. We got this. 10 seconds, core's tight. Stay active. We're gonna go here, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Go ahead and release here. We're gonna go ahead and come up to our knees. So you're gonna take a nice bend forward, neutral spine, and we're gonna just be activating the back muscles. So I wanna kind of sink back into my hips, but I'm not on my heels. I'm gonna reach my arms out in front of me. I'm gonna pull and squeeze my pinkies together, keeping my palms facing the ground. Nice, strong back. If this is too hard, you can take it down. I just want you to really be able to focus on the back. Spreading those lats, pulling those shoulders back and down. Trying to engage all those muscles back there. As we pull those pinkies back behind us, like they're gonna touch. 10 seconds. We're gonna go here, 5, 4, 3, 2, one, and time. All right. Similar position. This time we're going to come into a reverse fly. So we're going to keep that back flat. We're going to pull those shoulders back and down. This time you're squeezing up and together. So we're just using the shoulder blades to bring the arms back. We're going to go here in 2, 1, and go. So exhale, squeeze, release. Again, these are very easy to just go through the motion, not really connecting to the muscle, so you have to stay active. Hold tension through the arm. Really focus on squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back of this movement. We got 25 seconds. Almost there. 15 seconds. Last 10. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake them out. Starting to feel those shoulders. We're going to go ahead and find a low plank on our elbows, and we're going to come up into a piked position. So if you are on your pinkies like this with your thumbs up, this is slightly easier to be planked than if you turn your palms down to face the ground. I'm going to let you choose your version. We're going to go in 5 seconds. So find a low plank for me on those elbows. Core is tight. We're going to plank those hips up. So I'm going to lift up. But I want the lift to stem from my belly button and my shoulders. So my shoulders and my core are going to extend me up. Pushing my elbows and my shoulders, really grounding them into the floor. And just controlling that lift up and down. If this is too much, take it down just to your plank, or maybe come into that modified plank. But we only have 15 seconds. All right, last few ones. We're going to go here, 2, 1, and time. Okay, this next one's a fun one. So if you want to elevate because you have limited range of motion in your shoulders, you can absolutely elevate. Just find something to put your hands on. You're going to look something like this. Instead, you're going to bring those hips down. You're going to push up, and it's more of an angled box than we will be on the ground. Okay, so this is a great modifier. You can be here, or you can join me on the ground. Again, whenever we're doing the shoulder work, we're going to pull our shoulders back and down, make sure that they're not rolled forward. So you should already feel your upper mid back engaged because they're squeezed together. We're going to lift our chest up. We're going to exhale to drive our hips up into a hip bridge. Inhale to swing those hips back behind us, okay? So you're going to go from seated into that hip bridge. We'll walk it through together. Don't worry. You got some time here to practice too. So we're going to start, I'm going to have you start up like this. It's just a little easier to connect to the movement to begin with. Pull those shoulders back and down. Keep the core tight. You're going to push through the glutes to even out the knees and the shoulders. So I'm going to try to create a straight line between my knees and my shoulders. Perfect. And then I'm going to start to squeeze using my core, my hips back to sit. And then I'm going to pull through again. Core, glutes, hips, tabletop. And then bring it back. If you are elevated, you're not going to be able to sink back as far into the L sit. That's fine. Now we are going to add a tricep pulse through the end of this. But you got about 10 seconds. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Really control. We're going to go 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and hold yourself up here and then bend at those elbows. Pulsing here. Squeeze. The elbows are moving, not the hips. 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And time. Go ahead and relax here for a second. We're gonna go ahead and find that seated position here. Holding onto your knees, you're just gonna roll your back, roll and sit up, okay? So we're gonna just kind of modify, not too hard, it's just gonna be a transitional one. But I want you to just start connecting to the core. So I'm not just rolling my spine, but I'm flexing my abs. I'm pulling my belly button back, and then driving my ribs and hips into that flexion pose. If you want to grab a little lower, so you can reach a little bit more into that range, you absolutely can. We're gonna go 2, 1, and time. Go ahead and let yourself release all the way down to the ground. We're gonna go ahead and again, take those legs up. Tabletop first, and then if you can, extend. So full version, you're gonna go one side, and then we'll switch, okay? If you need to modify, you're gonna bend the knee, and you're gonna tap the toe. So go ahead and join me. We're in it, low back, belly button is glued. Again, I can make this harder by taking this leg all the way to a longer pose and trying to hover it right above the ground. I want you to focus on using your abs, so maybe put your hands right here to feel your core working to not only lower the leg, but also pull it back up. And then just go nice and slow and controlled. If your low back starts to arch, bend those knees, shorten the range of motion. We're gonna go right into the other side. You got about 10 seconds. All right, guys. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg up, squeeze, lengthen the other leg. Start to drop that leg. Keep that center long and strong. Really starting to feel the core warm up. Doing great. You have about 30 seconds. Keep pointing through that toe. Low back glued into the ground. Again, using the abs to lift and lower that leg, working both directions. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and time. Bring your feet down for just a second. One leg goes long, one leg goes up. With this leg, you're gonna draw a circle around your body and through. What I wanna do is keep my hips and my shoulders grounded as I make that big circle. So go ahead and join me. Keeping the core strong as we work that leg through this nice big circle. Reaching across our body, outside of our body, back around. 2 more this way, point through that toe, hold that tension through the leg, and then switch directions for me. Again, belly button really glued into the ground. Pull it into the floor. Actively squeezing. Don't just go through the motion with these movements. Hold tension through the abs, hold tension through the leg. 15 seconds here. Last 10. We're gonna go here 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it a nice tug into your body, releasing some of that tension the hip flexor may have just built up. Extend this leg long. Find your core again, push that belly button low back into the ground. Lift up the opposite leg, pointing that toe will go into the other side. Again, shoulders stay grounded, low back stays grounded, hips stay grounded, and then as we are in that solid formation, we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of movement through the leg to challenge the stability through the torso. Pointing through the toe, again, really trying to limit any of that extra movement, keeping everything locked in. If you're feeling a little swing side to side, try to brace your abs a bit more, try to find a little bit more control. Switch directions for me. Breathe. Almost there. Less than 10. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Again, go ahead and give that knee a little hug, just to alleviate any tension that hip flexor may have collected through the set. Okay, go ahead and bring your feet back down to the ground. We're gonna come into a push through crunch. So again, with all these exercises, this torso is glued into the ground, the entire spine from your tailbone to the back of your neck. Your shoulders are nice and solid. You're gonna pull your knees up into tabletop, extend it out, drop them down, slide them against the ground to return through. So you're creating this extension, this drop, connect to the ground, slide and pull. Again, the slower we go, the harder it is. If you need to shorten the range of motion, you absolutely can. So maybe you're just coming here, down, tap, pull, through, okay? Finding something that you can control. It doesn't do you any good to extend those legs long if you're arching the low back. We have less than 10. We're gonna go here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, getting close. We're gonna go ahead and extend one leg long and one leg bent. So this leg is gonna be right at tabletop. You're gonna pulse through this leg. We can add a little bit of a knee drive as well. This leg can rest on the ground. So I'm gonna exhale and then stabilize to tap. Exhale, and then stabilize that low core to tap. Push, and tap. Again, really trying to isolate the core, focus on our ankles. 20 seconds here. 15. Last 10. We're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Take a small break. Switching out those legs, opposite leg will come to the ground, opposite leg up in tabletop. We're gonna go here in about 10 seconds. Quick core check, quick hip alignment check. Make sure everything is in alignment. Belly button glued into the ground, shoulders relax into the ground as well. We're gonna go here in ready, set, go. So, nice long tabletop. Push past, release to the ground, and then tap and control. Now you can always make this harder if you want to elevate this bottom leg. I'm gonna keep it down today, but if you are up for the challenge, I want you to go for it. We got 25 seconds. Tap, pull, push. Tap, pull, push. Almost there. 7 seconds. 2, 1, and time. All right, this next one, we are gonna go ahead. You can put your hands underneath the low back. If you know you struggle with this, you're gonna keep your legs bent here. If you can, you're gonna extend long with me. We're gonna go here in 3, 2, 1, and go. I just want you to drop your legs just a couple inches. Again, the hands don't need to go underneath. We're gonna hold here for a second, and then we're gonna continue to drop. So go ahead and bring it down just a few more inches. Again, connecting to that pelvic floor, the low back, keeping your head and your shoulders anchored into the ground. Take another big inhale, exhale, drop just a little bit more. Squeeze and point. Starting to get hard. Now, if this is as far as you want to go, you can stay here, or you can join me to drop just a little bit lower. 15 seconds. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I'm going to drop it one more time. All right, we're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right. We are going to go ahead and roll up. We're going to stretch, and we're going to be done today. So what I'm gonna actually, just kidding, we're gonna stay on the ground. We're gonna do our knee hugs first. So I just want you to grab onto one knee. Sometimes these hip flexors can get pretty turned on with those leg raises. So I just want you to go ahead and roll that knee around your body, opening it up out wide, pushing it in towards your chest, just trying to make this nice, big, dramatic circle, but also pushing into your body to help massage the front of the hip out. Let's get one more this way. And then go ahead and switch those feet for me. Breathing into that hip. All right, one more on this side. Perfect. Bring both knees together, ankles together, bring them up into tabletop. Shift over to one side for me. Keeping the knee on top of the bottom knee. So I'm going to really be cognizant of what my top knee is doing. I want to have a straight line here. And if I feel it shifting, I'm going to just push this hip forward. So what happens is this shifts back, and what that does is it puts our hips uneven alignment. So one hip is slightly higher than the other. So we're going to keep focus on this knee. You can see if it's in alignment or not. You're going to reach through. Again, the knees are straight out from the hips too. It may be hard to tell. Reach forward on the front leg, or front arm. Extend in to open without losing this knee connection. So push that top knee forward as you reach your arm behind. Release forward. Big stretch. Exhale to open. We have 3 more. Forward. Exhale, open. Forward. And then last one here. We're going to hold for 10, so just bring that arm back. Keep checking that knee alignment. Reaching back behind you. We're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Go ahead and release. Let's swing those knees and hips over to the opposite side. So again, doing our best to keep knees and ankles glued together, right even with our hips. We're going to inhale, reach forward. Exhale, open up. Inhale forward. Exhale, open up. Inhale forward. Exhale, open. 2 more. Inhale forward. Keep checking that top knee. Don't forget to keep it glued on top of that bottom. Last one here. Holding for 10. We'll go 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Slide into it, bring yourself back to center. We're gonna go ahead now, grab onto those knees, give yourself a tight little ball, and then just rolling the back side to side. And then let's go ahead and start creating some momentum forward and back. So if you can, eventually, you're gonna actually make it up into that seated position. We'll go ahead and find our crisscross applesauce. We're gonna come into our shoulder reach, just stringing that across the body here. Excuse me. And then we'll switch. And then we're gonna take it into those triceps. And then opposite. And then we're gonna come into your forward fold. So nice tall posture. We gotta do both sides. Once we do both sides, it'll be done. You're gonna take a big inhale and then exhale, fold forward. Hinging at the hips, keeping the back long. Release up for me. Switch those legs. One more. Find that comfortable crisscross, push the knees down, and then fold over the front. Breathing into that low back hip space. And then again, go ahead.